Well, hello everyone. Good evening. Happy Monday. I am Dean the Turkey Likester and welcome to the stream. Wow, I haven't been live in the evenings from home in quite a while, so welcome in. Um and I am just going how I've been and how um the channel is, kind of let you know what I'm doing with the channel and what I've got planned for the channel um, coming up here in the the near future. Let me do something really quick. I have some friends in here. Don Hitchhiking Bones. Hello, welcome in. Jonathan Chong. Give me one second, Jonathan. All right, Amanda P. Welcome in. Gloria Thibodeau. Welcome in. Great to have you in the stream tonight. This is Let's Talk Turkey. Normally, Let's Talk Turkey, though, is on Tuesday. You may or may not know that I have been on a kind of a hiatus. Um, Tina McNeil, welcome in. Um, Welcome in, Tina and Chuck. And I yeah, so as you may or may not know, I kind of stepped back from streaming. I had some trouble with my eyes. Still having trouble with my eyes, even tonight. It's kind of come and gone. Beth Sunflower, welcome in. But I'm kind of dealing with it. I'm kind of powering through. Um, and I am, but in this season of being stepping back, I am kind of reviewing what I'm doing with the shows and my content. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about that tonight, and then I am going to share a little opinion and a review about, what my thoughts are on the brand new Disney Starlight Parade that just launched officially yesterday. Although they were in a soft opening phase for 2 days, which was a nice surprise. Anyway, I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. Let me talk about my channel, what I'm doing, what I was doing before, what I'm doing now, and what I'm going to do. Mandy Adams, welcome in. Hello, hello. So before, when I decided to step away, I was in the middle of my Summer of Friends series, and that was going to be a lot longer than I ended up having it. Um, it became very frustrating for me having to uh, cancel or reschedule. There were a couple of streams that I did, and I'm dealing with my, my eyes, very annoying. And so I kind of decided that I needed to create a little margin just mentally, physically, and then that included my YouTube channel. And so that's why I haven't been doing streams like this in a while, and I stepped away. I didn't do any mobile streams for a little while. I've actually done some recently. I'm kind of getting back into that. Um, so I do have the mobile streams like from Disney and from other locations. You're still going to see those for the rest of July and at least through the month of August. Going into September is where the question mark for me is. It at some point in September, um, is when I'm tentatively looking at bringing back some of my weekly streams, and I'm like I said, I'm reviewing what I'm going to be doing. So let me just talk about my shows that I've done, that I've had, what I'm wanting to do, and there's still some what do they call it? Fluidity, flexibility as to what I might do coming up. So I'm just going to lay some possibilities out on the table and some of the ideas that I'm still mulling around, but that I want to bring out to the channel and where my thought process is. Welcome in Jason Thibodeau, Dave Stragan, welcome in. Um, so let's talk turkey, which is normally on Tuesday nights. Tonight is Monday night. Um, so this is not, I'm on hiatus anyway, so this is already, not expected, I'm sure. But anyway, let's talk turkey. My normal, kind of my flagship, if you will, show is this kind of my all-purpose hangout. Anything goes. Have a guest, do trivia, um, anything that's still in place. When the channel comes back in regular scheduling every week, whenever that may be. Um, Let's Talk Turkey is gonna still be on Tuesdays. Normal time will be Tuesdays at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as it's always been. Um, Although regarding the time, there is a possibility I may bump my streams an hour earlier to 8 o'clock. So I may shift that. And I'm gonna make that decision when I get closer to relaunching all the streams. So stay tuned for that. It might be 8 o'clock, and not 9 o'clock in the future. Zippity Duke Doug, welcome in. Hope you're having a great. I hope everyone's having a great night. Um, the new show that I am looking to launch. Let me talk about the other show that and everyone loves me reading my stories. Once Upon a Turkey Leg, and I enjoy it too. But with my eyes giving me kind of issues and being wonky and everything, I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing as much of of doing the story reading as its own show. And there's a couple of options for Once Upon a Turkey Leg and still reading you guys stories. So regarding Once Upon a Turkey Leg, well, let me tell you about the brand new show that is coming to the channel, and it's going to be on Thursdays. It will be either a bi-weekly show every 2 weeks, or it will be weekly. And so here's what I'm thinking with my shows. What I may possibly do. Option one is that Let's Talk Turkey is going to be weekly on Tuesdays. And I'm going to work in the stories to the last 10-15 minutes of those streams. So we'll chat for about 45 minutes about whatever the topic is, and then I'll switch gears and I'll read one story to finish out our time together on Tuesdays. And so that way I can still be reading you stories without committing to reading a lot, if that makes sense. And then along in that option A, Thursdays will be my new show, which is called the Pixie Dust Report or Review. I think it's Report. The Pixie Dust Report or the Pixie Dust Review. One of those two. And that is where I'm going to, because I wanted to do this for a while and I wanted to talk about Disney news, Disney World news coming from the company specifically. Not so much Disneyland or the international parks. Not that I don't care about them, but if there's something really huge, like, I don't know, Disneyland has a fire or something big, or a story that affects both Disney World and Disneyland, I'll obviously talk about Disneyland. Like, if a new land comes to both, such as, when they both were working on Galaxy's Edge, something of that nature. Other than that, I'm really not going to talk about Disneyland or the international parks unless something huge is happening. So it will be focused to Disney World, Disney Plus, the company as it relates to the operation of the company, new CEO news, new whatever. So that's the Pixie Dust Report, and I think I'm going with report. That sounds more familiar with what I would have named it. It might be the Pixie Dust Review, but I'm going to go with the Pixie Dust Report for this stream. So that would be Thursday nights. Now, option 2 or option B is that Let's Talk Turkey continues every Tuesday, just normal, just how I've done it. Pick up. It's the same format. I talk for an hour, almost an hour. And on Thursdays, I do bi-weekly alternating weeks with the Pixie Dust Report. So, 1 week the Pixie Dust Report, the next week is Once Upon a Turkey Leg, and the format would stay normal. I would read a couple of stories, and sign off, and you'd have a live chat. So it would alternate weeks on Thursday. That way, because I've realized that I can't commit, mentally, physically, whatever, psychologically, to having more than 2 regular weekly streams. And before I tried to work in, having a Saturday stream, and I still have Saturday kind of earmarked as a make-up time slot, Saturday evenings. So if I'm ever not live on a particular stream, just kind of think, okay, Dean may try to do that stream on Saturday night or Sunday night, but most likely Saturday. So those are the 2 options where you have Let's Talk Turkey and they integrate a story at the end of the thing, and then every week I have the Pixie Dust Report, or Let's Talk Turkey is normal and you have the 2 shows alternating. So those are the couple of options that I'm looking at for my streams. And I'm thinking, I'm just thinking, because normally there's not a ton of news, ton of like major news out of Walt Disney World. throughout a particular week. So I might be able to get away with a bi-weekly setup. That's what I'm thinking with that. And if I have an hour or so on, an hour and a half even on a Thursday night, um, and it's covering a couple of weeks, and if it's a slow couple of weeks, then it'll just be a 20-30 minute show. Um, exactly, Tina. So the moral of the story is have your notification bell rung. Um, so my timeline for launching the new shows, the new bringing back home streams, maybe early September. Sometime in September, it's kind of what I'm looking at. So I'm going to see, um, how I'm feeling about things health wise. Like I said, I'm still having some issues with my eyes, so pray for me that my eyes will clear up and that I've kind of, they've improved a little bit here and there. I can get them to cooperate. So if you pray for me in that regard, that I can figure that out. Um, because I want to do home streams again. I want to read you stories, stories that I've not read on the channel before, like Dr. Seuss, Green Eggs and Ham, or Disney favorites that I in the last few months I've actually bought because I didn't have them in my library, like Pocahontas. Um, when we get around to the Christmas holidays, I want to be able to read you Christmas stories. By the way, speaking of Christmas, happy Christmas in July, guys. Christmas in July. Um, Peanuts Countdown to Christmas is a series I have on the channel. There is a playlist if you want to go watch this series, these short stories featuring the Peanuts. I've got that one. I've also got the Countdown to Christmas with Disney people, Disney stories, Disney IPs. You know what I mean. Um, so I'm kind of looking at first the Countdown to Christmas. Well, it was I think 2023 or 2022 when I did the countdown to between those years. I did the countdown to Peanuts. I think might have been 2022. I may do a countdown to Christmas in 20 this year. I have to think of maybe do the Peanuts again, but do it live. When I did it before, it was a recorded, so I could think about doing that again. But I'll make that decision in a few months. That's a huge undertaking. So we'll think about Christmas in a couple months. Dave's Disney Dreams. Hello, Dave. Hope you are doing well. Um, Welcome in. So that's kind of what is going on with the channel. Um, so yeah, I've got mobile streams. Speaking of mobile streams, Disney streams. Um, tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will be live from Disney's Animal Kingdom. I haven't been there in a couple months. So I'm looking forward to um streaming around there and looking at the Tree of Life and just enjoying the fun ambiance there around the park. And so I'll be around there. I'll be there for about an hour and then looking at hopping over to Epcot, and there may be a second stream tomorrow midday. Stephanie Keel, welcome in. Welcome in. Happy Monday. Hope you're doing well tonight. So yeah. So Animal Kingdom definitely. Maybe Epcot in the afternoon. Just that's a question mark. Um, Anywho, that's all the channel updates. That's all the me updates. I had a little I had a little slump there, kind of depressed about everything and overwhelmed. And to be honest, for a little while, for there was actually a few days where I thought I would probably quit YouTube. And I went in, my moderator know I struggled with. I even thought I might, well, I thought I was going to quit YouTube. And then I thought, well, maybe I'll do YouTube, but I don't need moderators. So I actually went in and unmodded all my moderators. That lasted about, the actual unmodding was, state of unmoderating was a couple of days. And I realized if I am going to do streams, have a YouTube channel, um, I think I probably need my moderators in there. So my moderators, I got them back, and I don't think they hate me too much for being crazy. Um, and so that's back, but my channel is still, it's kind of in a low, laying low, and so I kind of that's the other part to me not doing more than 2 streams each week, because then I get burnt out, and I feel like quitting. And I've learned the other thing I need to learn, and I'm saying this live on air so everyone knows um, how I operate is that, sometimes I do get the burnt out. Call Paul Engel, welcome in. Oh, Tina, thank you. Never, well, thank you. I need to be nicer to myself that regard, and I need to learn how to. I think I need to be patient with myself more, give myself more grace, give myself um, the freedom to take a break. Maybe I need to take 1 or 2 weeks off, and that's that. I've slowly learned that in the last couple of years that I need to, take a break. I can't, if I need to, even planning regularly to, the last week of the month, don't stream anything. And that may be something I look at. Um, that may be something that I do. Just, take the last week of each month off, and I'll let you guys know what I do, as kind of the summer's kind of a break period for my channel, and then fall, which is why I'm looking at September for being whatever I decide to do is kind of the next thing. Um, so anyway, um, thank you all. Yes, Don, YouTube burnout is real. Got to step back and take a break sometimes, and absolutely. And it's yeah, and so it's great having people like you guys and my moderators know that I'm always I'm quite frequently saying in our mod chat, "Oh, I think I might go live tonight for a chat," and then like an hour before say, I'm not gonna go live. Or sometimes last minute I'll say, "Hey, guess what? I'm gonna go live in like 5 minutes. I don't know if you're busy." Um, but anyway, um, so that's the channel. My home streams still gonna be on hiatus until September, but mobile streams getting down to Disney here. In fact, the next at least 3 weeks, I have plans to get down to Disney once each week um, to Disney. I want to get back to the beach to do a sunrise. So if you're a morning person and you're up before the sun rises, um, you know, look for that. I'm not sure when that's going to be. I actually just went out on a little drive. I've got a couple of streams on the channel. I went to a couple of places and walked around and kind of enjoyed some little spots in Central Florida. I had my little summer adventure, so that was kind of fun. And I didn't stream or document it, but after my two streams, I went to the Buc-ee's in Daytona Beach, and I I got some things to eat and battled the crowds. Um, and it gets really busy. I was there, I want to say around 1 o'clock, and it could be just because it's summer, but I think it's just because it's Buc-ee's. It was really busy, but I got some things to eat. Um, if you're not familiar with Buc-ee's, if you don't have, I don't know, if you visit Buc-ee's regularly, I gotta recommend they sell I don't know if they have it everywhere. They probably have it at least in Texas because they have a burrito. It's called the Texas, I want to say it's the Texas, um, whatchamacall, the Texas Steakhouse burrito, I think. It is really good. Um, I think it's, yeah. No, I think is it cheese? No, is it cheesesteak? Might be Texas cheesesteak. It's something, anyway, it's Texas something, cheesesteak, something burrito is really good. I've had it regularly. I just had it. Chris Curtis family, welcome in. Um, so anyway, I enjoyed my trip to Buc-ee's and I battled the crowd. And surprisingly, it was really crowded in the kind of main part of where they have where they cut up like the brisket and the meats and stuff, and they have the beef jerky bar and then the bakery part, and then they have the other part, and then they're kind of the entrance on the opposite end, where there can be a backup of people, but Bucky's does a really good job of at least that one, because that's the one I go to. Um, they seem to have a really good handle on having a lot of cashiers going. So you can have a line, but it's likely that it's just momentary, and it's just going to be like a couple of minutes, and they're gonna keep the line moving. Because when I went to check out, there were like three cashiers not doing anything. Um, and they were, you know, did I get the Bucky's Nuggets snacks? Oh, I did not get the Bucky's Nuggets, the beaver nuggets. What does Don say? Bucky's brisket sandwich smoked on site. Yes, so what I got that Texas cheesesteak burrito or steak something burrito. I got the turkey. They had turkey sandwich, barbecue turkey something. Had to get the turkey. I got something else. What else did I get? Ooh, this was really good, guys. If they have the brisket, macaroni and cheese. Oh my goodness. I probably should have gotten two. Because it was so good. It's like mac and cheese, regular mac and cheese, but they have the brisket with barbecue sauce on the top. It's so good. Oh my goodness gracious. I might go to Bucky's tomorrow instead of Disney. No, I'm just kidding. Um, It was so good. So if you go to Buc-ee's and if you see if they have the barbecue brisket macaroni and cheese, get it. Get it. 10 out of 10. I should have got two. Um, Definitely. And when I go back there, not if, when, I will be getting that. Um, so anyway, that was Buc-ee's, and I had that was that was Friday, and I had a good day. I had a really good day. Um, and I don't think I hit rain that day. I might have hit some on the way home. Anyway, I think it was a pretty good weather day. Um, anyway, um, give me 1 second, guys. I begged you. So anyway, that's the channel updates. That was Bucky's talk, and so now part two of what I wanted to talk about a little bit is talk about my initial reaction to the brand new the Disney Starlight parade that just sorry, okay, let's rewind. So that was I try to clean out my mic there. Um, so sorry about that. Um, so now we're on to part two. Um, and I'm going to talk about I like to talk about the Disney Starlight parade. Um, and just kind of some initial um, reaction to. Oh, thank you guys. Yeah, I didn't. Um, I had to raise it to step out for a second, but sorry about that. Um, so Disney Starlight Parade. This is the it officially debuted, launched, whatever word you want to use, yesterday on the 20th of July, and Disney surprised everyone. Pleasant surprise that they did a soft opening on Friday. They ran it once on Friday, and then Saturday night they did another soft opening night, and they ran it twice. And then running it twice is the normal schedule, and that is what it launched officially last night on the 20th. And so the evenings are much more magical at Magic Kingdom now. The um, the Disney Starlight Parade runs at 9 o'clock, and then again at 11 o'clock, and then the Happily Ever After fireworks are at 10 o'clock. And so you've got 9, 10, and 11. Something's happening. I'm curious to know actually, or see going into like the fall when it like starts getting darker earlier, if they bump up the times and they kind of do like the parade at 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock, and the fireworks at 9. I'm gonna be interested to see if they bump it up earlier at all when it gets starts getting dark earlier. So keep an eye on that. I have not seen it live yet. I'll just get that out of the way. I've only seen a couple of live streams versions of it and a couple of videos of it. And I gotta say, the as with anything at Disney, it's gonna be better in person. But um, based on the comments I'm about to make, and I'm gonna try. If you haven't seen a video of this parade yet, of this show, which is I consider it a show or a type of show. Anyway, of the parade. If you haven't seen it yet, I can't guarantee that I'm not gonna provide any spoilers. I'm gonna try not to. Um, um, but so I'm really happy. Let me just start with I'm really happy that Disney has a nighttime parade. It's been since 2016 when they had the Main Street Electrical Parade um, last, and this then it's just been fireworks and fireworks in the evening, and so um, and then you had, of course, daytime. We've had the Festival of Fantasy Parade. I'm going to talk about the Festival of Fantasy in a few minutes. Um, so that's the first thing. I'm really glad that the parade, we have a nighttime parade in Magic Kingdom. Um, Having watched the parade a few times now on video, um, gotta say I give it I give it a 9 or a 9.5 out of 10. And so I'll tell you there's a couple things I would like to see them tweak in the parade. But overall, it's the music. I love the music, the soundtrack. In fact, it was announced that Disney will be releasing the soundtrack on like the streaming services like Spotify, YouTube Music, the i1, the iTunes, or whatever it's called for Apple. Um, so that's going to be released, in the future, sometime after the launch was. And so I'm looking forward to that because I'm going to enjoy listening to that. And they've done that. They did that with Luminous. They put that out. I know they did that with Harmonious as well, which was great because I loved the Harmonious, just like the musical program aspect of it. Um, I won't go into that, but the music production more than the park show. So I'm glad that they had released that soundtrack out, and so I'm looking forward to the Disney Starlight soundtrack coming out. The um, the there's a lot of characters represented. There really is, and I'm so glad that the beginning float of the parade, it's classic characters. I won't I won't go into all the characters on the all the floats, but I'm going to tell you it's led by the Blue Fairy, and on the float is Pinocchio and Geppetto. So right off the bat, you've got the classic Disney being represented. After that, you've got a mix of newer characters and older, characters. Um, I will say the second float is the one float I think I'm not sure why it's there, and that's the Wish float from the movie Wish because I wasn't that crazy about the movie. There, it wasn't that great of a movie. I don't even think it was that popular overall. And so I'm not sure why Wish has its own float. Some of the other floats that are included in there that are newer, such as Encanto had a float. Moana, I get those because those were popular, more popular. And they were better movies. If you're comparing those to Wish, definitely I would watch Encanto or Moana over Wish. Um, and you've got the classic, more classic things. You've got Peter Pan float, which is my favorite, by the way. You've got princesses. You've got and then the final float has some different characters. All the like the Four or Five. You've got Goofy and Pluto, and no, I don't think it's Pluto in there. I think Pluto was in there. I think I saw Pluto. I know Goofy, yeah. Donald and Daisy is in there. You know who's not in there though? I'd have to watch a video again. Um, I don't think the Chipmunks are in the parade. You've got Mickey and Minnie, um, Donald and Daisy. I know Goofy's there. I think Pluto. Not sure. But the last float is kind of one thing that I kind of like to see because they have a smaller float that follows that the last float, a smaller float that just has Disney Starlight on it, and on the other side of that last little thing is the Jiminy Cricket that they have, kind of flying, kind of makes an appearance. What I would like to see with the parade, I think that might work is to have a separate float for the Mickey and Minnie and friends, like the Fab Five or Sensational Six or whatever, to have those, and then have a float of like the Aladdin and the Rapunzel and the other characters, and then have the Disney Starlight logo really um, be on that float, maybe on the sides instead of just a little thing. Um, I think I love the lighting on the floats. I think it's really cool, that how the lighting is and goes. Again, the soundtrack, it's great. Tina says Disney like to try to make movies popular through their attractions. Yeah, but I think what it is that is true, and I think I think they are trying to make it popular, and it's just not. I think their inclusion of characters and IP in their shows and attractions really kind of need to be based on how well the movie is. I mean, um, how well it's received. I think also in terms of the parade, Wish isn't really that old. It's like 1 or 2 years old, and there's really not any level of classicness to it, along with the fact that it wasn't that popular. Um, Encanto's pretty new, but Encanto did a lot better. There's a lot more people want to see Mirabelle, and they're talking about Bruno now, so Bruno's on that float. Um, and it's Jonathan said, I think people in between floats need more lights. There. Oh, I have. Yes, that is another thing. That is another comment that I heard that I didn't think about. But yeah, it's some of like the dancers between the floats. They have some lights, but they're not really a lot lit up. They could use being a little more lit up. So, this is a brand new uh, at parade. Um, Disney, any feedback Disney gets, I think they're going to consider. They may make some minor or major changes with time, but it literally just launched yesterday. So, as people see it, more people see it, in person, and there's more feedback coming, with time. I think we will maybe see a few things. I don't know what that would be. Maybe they'll add floats, or they'll get rid of floats, or characters, or whatnot. Speaking of characters, I was super glad that Princess Aurora is in a parade again at Walt Disney World, because she's not in the Festival of Fantasy parade. Now don't get me wrong, I love the Maleficent and the Prince Philip fighting Maleficent and the three fairies, but with that, you didn't really have a place for Aurora to come in unless she was on a float with the fairies, just kind of, and the fairies weren't, flying around on, rolling around on their, how they do in the parade. But so I was always bummed out that Aurora wasn't in that parade when you had, all the other princess people. You had Rapunzel, you had Cinderella, you had Elsa and Anna, you had who else? Tiana, you had basically all of the characters. And so she's in this one. She's in Starlight, dancing with Philip, which is great. So I'm really happy to have that in a parade. But again, I'm gonna have to watch again the parade again because I'm not sure if Chippendale were included. And if they're not, I would put that as another strike, another negative on this parade, because there's really no reason that Chippendale can't be on in a parade when all the other characters, you know, um, all these other characters are. Um, I would have liked to see somehow Mary Poppins and Bert um, represented, and I don't know if they would quite fit in this parade, but Winnie the Pooh and Friends, the Hundred Acre Wood crew, I would have loved to see them be in this parade. I'd really like it if they were in the Festival of Fantasy. If they could add a Hundred Acre Wood, I think Festival of Fantasy may work better for the Hundred Acre Wood people, but I mean they're kind of left out from all these Fantasyland people. So I never really understood that. So that's that. Speaking of Festival of Fantasy, let me just say, I think it's high time that Disney look at making some tweaks to the Festival of Fantasy. Possibly even working on a replacement, but at least a adding some characters, adding, you know, some people, some characters that aren't represented. And they do have the Adventure Friends Cavalcade, which there's a ton of characters in that. But I would say probably the one float they could definitely add to the Festival of Fantasy is the Winnie the Pooh and Friends. Without a doubt, they could definitely add that. I don't think it'd kill them to tweak the soundtrack and the everything, and I really don't think it'd kill them to do that. I think they should look at that at this point in the game, is kind of seeing if there's anything they can possibly do to kind of plus the Festival of Fantasy at this point in the game. It's a great parade, don't get me wrong. And if they don't change it, that'd be okay. But I think it'd be great if they could take a hard look, maybe ask their people, ask their guests, do some guest surveys, and look at that hard, That's just some comments I've got on the Festival of Fantasy. Not saying anything's going to happen. Not saying they're going to do it. But if I were in charge, I'd be looking at that. I'd be at least looking at that as an option of something to do. Um, so, anywho, speaking of the Starlight Parade, if you have not had a chance to watch it yet, there's several live streams that I know about, and I'm sure there's others. There's vlogs. I've seen several vlogs out already of the parade, and I do know one of the friends in our community, Steve's World. He's actually live at Magic Kingdom right now, and we're coming up in about 10 minutes is when that parade will be starting at the Magic Kingdom. So if one of my mods can go get Steve's World's link, stream link, I think he had to start a part two. He had some stream issues. Make sure he's still live. If you guys can pop that in the chat for everybody, go over to Steve's World. If you'd like to watch the Disney Starlight Parade, if you're one of those people they're gonna wait until you are gonna be there in person, I completely agree. But thank you, Jonathan. Yes, the go over there and hang out with Steve, and I'm sure there's a bunch of friends over there to watch Disney Starlight, and hopefully sometime in the near future, I will be at Magic Kingdom to stream Starlight Parade for you guys. I want to get there to just watch it first in person, and then we'll think about being there again to stream it. So anyway, with that, guys, it's been great chatting with you and sharing, talking about things, and this is why I love streaming because, okay, Tina, that's fine. Yep, you'll be there in November, definitely. But watching it on stream now is definitely an option. So, guys, with that, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Have a great Monday evening. I will be live in the morning from Disney's Animal Kingdom. So watch for that 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on the channel. I look forward to it. And please pray that I don't get too hot or get rained out tomorrow. So, um, so guys, have a gobbletastic night, and I will see you later. Goodbye.